Ignoring Jacob's accusations, Susan checked her watch and said, "I have about half an hour. Do you have any questions?" She started walking ahead, and Jacob hurriedly followed her and matched her speed. He thought for a second and asked, "Yes, a couple. I'd like to know how many inspectors are out there." Sam and his other two roommates continued to follow them. When they saw Jacob walking beside Susan, talking to her nonstop, they didn't know whether to be curious or jealous. "There isn't any fixed number of inspectors. Some travel around the world, disguised as artists and such, and others, like me, stay in one city and supervise the dragons in that area," Susan answered Jacob patiently. Jacob was happy to get all the information he could. He continued to ask, "So, how can I recognize these inspectors?" This question was important to him. After all, his life depended on it. "You can't recognize the inspectors, especially those who wander around. Even elders like Liam can't spot them. Only inspectors can sense each other's existence," Susan explained. "Inspectors are like secret agents that you can't avoid. Even the mighty Dragon Clan of Wisconsin has to be respectful towards them." No wonder Helen was cautious when she mentioned Susan, thought Jacob. He had a better understanding of the situation now. "This thing you gave me," Jacob held the necklace and asked, "will it last forever?" "The array formation on the necklace is designed to last exactly for 1 month. After that, unless I transfer more energy into it, it will automatically stop working," said Susan. No one would expect such elaborate explanations from Susan, not even her university students. She was always so cold and stern. No one dared to approach her. Jacob wasn't the only one who was surprised. The others, who were watching them, were also astonished to see Susan talk to a student. They could tell that Jacob and Susan had a relationship outside the university. "This was why I gave you the time limit of 1 month. If you reach the first level of cultivation in 1 month, your body will release pure dragon energy so the other inspectors won't easily detect you. Besides, if you get to that level, you will have some strength to defend yourself even if you meet a tough inspector," Susan explained. Looking at her, Jacob suddenly realized that she was, in fact, helping him. "Since you don't acknowledge my official status, why do you want to help me?" Jacob finally asked the question which was bugging him the most. Susan sighed a little and said, "Because I owe the Wisconsin clan a favor, and helping you is to return that favor," she answered. "What kind of favor?" Jacob continued to ask. Susan looked at him and thought for a while before answering. "I grew up in the Dragon Palace. Dracon and Helen have taken care of me." "Dragon Palace?" Jacob raised his voice in astonishment. He was stunned. "Does it really exist?" "Yes. It's hidden under the ocean, and I'm sure Dracon will take you there one day. Most of the elders of North Atlantic live in the Dragon Palace, guarding the place as they cultivate. Only a few of them are in the city, assisting Dracon," she answered. Strange feelings surged in Jacob's heart. It had never really registered in his mind that these people were, in fact, dragons, because they always seemed so normal. But knowing that the legend of the Dragon Palace was true suddenly made it all so real for him. To Sophie, the Dragon Palace must be like her home, right? I can't believe that I'm actually engaged to a dragon, he thought. "So, you grew up in the Dragon Palace?" Jacob took interest in Susan's story. "I am an orphan and was adopted by an elder of North Atlantic. That's why I spent my childhood in the Dragon Palace," Susan said lightly. As she spoke, her face was expressionless as always, not a trace of sadness. This brought Jacob to his next question, though he wasn't sure how to approach it. He didn't want to disrespect Susan now that he knew she was helping him. After a few moments of contemplation, he asked, gently, I've been wondering, how old are you? Susan turned around to look at him quietly. However, her ice-cold eyes could freeze Jacob into an ice sculpture. He had mentally accepted his fate of getting by her right in the middle of the university. 24. She stared at him for a few seconds before she told him her age. Jacob exhaled deeply. I thought you were a few 100 years old, he murmured, but then bit his tongue to stop himself. He only spoke his mind and didn't think things through. Susan had started cultivating at a very early age and was able to go from the first level to the highest in just 20 years. She was what Helen referred to as a heavenly level master. It showed how talented she was. Skilled cultivators like her were rare to find. Susan rolled her eyes at him. Jacob remembered his grandmother telling him that women were sometimes conscious about their age. He didn't know that would be the case with dragon women also. Okay, what other questions do you have? Susan asked Jacob in her signature cold voice. Oh, are there any quiet places in the school where I can concentrate on cultivating? Jacob suddenly remembered and asked. He was still frustrated about being interrupted the last time. Quiet places. Susan thought about it and said, You should go find Liam and ask for a spare office to cultivate in. Don't you think that would be a bit extreme? Jacob hesitated. Owning a separate office as an ordinary student would attract unnecessary attention. It's your job to find where you should cultivate. I'm not dealing with it, Susan said coldly and let him know that it wasn't her business. Or, Jacob asked cautiously, could I borrow your office? I gave you an inch and you want to take a mile? Susan raised her eyebrows. Jacob chuckled awkwardly and tried to explain. I just think it would be easier to ask for your help there in case I hit a snag. He realized that Susan was charming even though she was mad at him. It was bizarre that Susan, who had always been so calm, could get mad at him. He was trying very hard not to say anything that would trigger her and make her want to stop helping him. Susan pondered as she looked at Jacob. You are right. Dracon is busy with work, and Liam is swarmed with trivial things, so neither of them have the time to guide you. How about you see me in my office from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday, she suggested. But don't bother me at any other time, she added as an afterthought. Jacob was thrilled to get Susan's permission. His chances of survival among dragons had just increased. After all, she was the strongest person he had ever met, apart from Sophie's third uncle Kenneth, of course. This was why he tried his luck with Susan when she came to see him today. Though he had never expected her to actually agree. Susan had her own reasons for this decision. She never cared much about training someone else, but this clan had raised her, and she wanted to return their favor. On top of that, she found Jacob to be a hard-working guy, so she didn't mind giving him some instructions. I'm heading back if you don't have any more questions, she said lightly. Jacob looked up at the big clock hanging on the library building and realized it was already 4:30. That meant he had been talking to Susan for the past half an hour. Okay, I'll come to see you at 4 every weekday as long as I don't have class, Jacob said. Susan nodded and briskly walked to her office. Oh, wait a moment. Jacob suddenly remembered something and called out. Susan stopped and turned around. Having seen this, Sam almost wanted to run over and Jacob. Aside from the walk, Jacob could even call out to her and ask her to stop, he thought. Lots of people saw me walking with you on campus today. How should I explain it to them? He asked her. He then looked around at all the people glued to their places as if watching a movie. Just say that I'm your cousin, Susan said, without giving it a second thought. She then turned around and left swiftly. Jacob was relieved as he watched her leave. Having an answer approved by her was much easier than making up a lie himself. He was not good with making up excuses anyway. He was also afraid of making Susan mad and invoking her wrath. Just as he turned around and started to prepare for the upcoming interrogation from his roommates, a familiar bright red color came into his view. He looked over and saw a red driving towards the campus. Although the driver was not speeding, the flame-like color still dragged a ray of red behind it. I have seen this car somewhere, Jacob remembered. Susan, who had almost reached her office, also slowed down at the sight of the car. The lady in the car took off her sunglasses and flashed a charming smile. "Sue, long time no see." Who could it be if not Helen? Sam and the guys were just about to go grill Jacob. However, seeing the made them stop in their tracks. The day was just getting crazier by the minute.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.